Hey, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I am super happy and excited to see all of you today. See, I have been doing a little bit of shipping today. I have about 20 orders packed and ready to ship out. I have another 30 or so to do today, about 50 orders I have to get out today. So sales have been very good and stable, but that is not the point of today's video. See, in today's video, I would actually like to talk to you all about inflation and what it means for us as resellers. Okay, but before we jump into this wild topic of inflation and what it means for us as resellers and how it actually affects our business, I would just like to introduce myself super quick. My name is Jacob and I'm a full-time online reseller, primarily on the Poshmark app, and I've been using this YouTube channel to document the day-to-day growth of my business. In all honesty, I use this YouTube channel as a video diary, not only to document the growth of my business, but to also help all of you out along the way with your entrepreneurship endeavors, and so you can learn from my experiences and successes and failures. And if you are a longtime viewer of this channel, you know that just a little over a year ago, I was working out of my basement in Minnesota. I had a few hundred items for sale online, and well, flash forward, I moved to beautiful Colorado. I have 3 full storage units of inventory, over 11,000 items for sale, and my business has grown tenfold, and I have documented every single step along the way. In a nutshell, I use this YouTube channel to preach entrepreneurship and business ownership through the lens of my reselling business. So that's who I am. My name is Jacob. It is super nice to meet you and welcome to the channel. I'm here to help you, and to everybody who has been supporting the channel thus far, all the comments and the likes and the subscriptions. You guys are literally the best, and I want to extend a warm thank you to each and every one of you, because you guys keep me inspired and motivated to grow and do better every single day. So I really want to say thank you. I mean it. Okay, now that is my spiel. Now let's talk about how inflation affects us as resellers and entrepreneurs and business owners. Okay, so here is the deal. Inflation has been a very buzzy word as of late. Actually, basically all of last year it's been pretty buzzy, but I feel like it's gotten even more prominent over these past few weeks. So I would really like to talk to all of my fellow resellers and entrepreneurs about this topic of inflation and how it affects us, and well, why you shouldn't be totally scared about it. And I know it's a very doomy and gloomy word, you know, inflation, but I'm here to tell you that I believe that there is a lot of opportunity in an inflating market. So I am going to tell you exactly how I am preparing my business for this inflating market and how I actually plan to capitalize on it as well. Here's the deal. Let's get down to brass tacks with all of this first. And honestly, the first piece of advice I have for all of you, especially in the reselling industry, if you're like me, if you resell clothes, is to just be practical. But the reality is, whether we see it at the gas pumps or in our grocery stores or going out to a movie or dinner, things are getting more expensive, and it's something we cannot run away from. It's something we have to adapt to. I would like to consider myself a naturally optimistic person, and while some of you have picked up on that from my excessive hand movements and you've been letting me know in the comments, but you know what, I get excited, I talk with my hands, and I'm not going to change for anybody, quite frankly. But here's the deal. I cannot remember the last time it was less than $100 to fill up my truck. So you know what, you hear about inflation in the news and the headlines, but you actually see it as well. It's just getting more and more expensive living our everyday lives. So what I mean by being practical, simply put, is that if everything around us is getting more and more expensive, it would be very practical to assume that our inventory will also get more and more expensive to acquire. It's really the nature of the beast, unfortunately. If you don't have good supply chain set, I'm assuming our inventory costs are just going to get more and more expensive as inflation causes havoc on our current market. But like I tell you all the time on this channel, you have to learn to adapt and conquer. I know I've been reading a lot of comments in the comment section of some of my videos, and people like to talk about how their local inventory sources are getting more and more expensive, and it's harder and harder to turn a profit. But the unfortunate reality about being an entrepreneur and owning a business is that nothing is going to be consistent. So sometimes I like to think it's not all about the money and owning a successful business that makes us entrepreneurs. Sometimes I think it's just the pure adversity, the ability to overcome problems. And to be perfectly honest, inflation is just another one of these problems and adversities that we're going to have to overcome as entrepreneurs. Okay, now here is the silver lining in all of this and why I'm actually treating this current buzzy, inflated market as an opportunity for my business rather than a crutch. Simply put it, now is a more important time than ever to provide value for your customers and your consumers. The reason why I see this as an opportunity is because in this very doomsday environment, the more you can provide value to your customers and your consumers, the more you will win. Because here is the cold, hard truth about all of this. As inflation creeps into other reselling businesses' profits, they are going to be less and less inclined to provide value to their consumers because, well, they're going to be making less money. But in my opinion, that is the crutch mentality, and I want to look at it in an opportunistic way, because as inflation starts to creep into the profits of my business, my own business, this business right here, as I start to make less and less profit on my sales, and unfortunately I think that might be the outcome of this inflating market. But as inflation starts to hit my business, I am actually going to do everything I can to provide more value to my consumers and my customers before I can swoop up all the market share that other reselling businesses will inevitably lose during this inflating time. So in my opinion, there's no better time than now to provide value to your customers, because there is a great land grab on market share, and I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger. You know, there's an age-old saying in business that 10% of the people do 90% of the business, and the other 90% of people do 10% of the business. And unfortunately, in an inflating market like today, the barrier to entry to the reselling business is going to become increasingly hard. And I think a big majority of that 90% who's trying to get to that 10% of business are either going to stop, scale down their business, or honestly just treat inflation more as a crutch than an opportunity. You are someone who's willing to go the extra mile. That is exactly where the opportunity lies. Everybody in this camp who is going to be discouraged by the inflation and want to quit and scale down their business, they're going to be giving their market share up to the people who are willing to stick it out. I believe that if you can provide value, you can swoop up a lot of this open market that's going to be left behind by all the people exiting the industry. Okay, now how do you provide value to your customers and your consumers in this inflating time and market? Well, to be simple, you just have to be creative. To put it simply, for my business, I'm going to do my best to keep prices extremely fair. I'm going to be running a lot of sales. I'm going to be doing a lot of giveaways and also giving away free stuff with a lot of orders. And you know what? Some of that stuff is going to cut into my profits as well as inflation, and I am very well aware of that. But in my estimation, I will be able to offset that by providing more value to my customers, therefore doing a higher quantity of business. I get it, profit is extremely important, but there are ways to make things work, and there's an age-old trope, you know, quantity versus quality. Unfortunately, in the entrepreneurship world, you have to be able to adapt and overcome, and unfortunately, I don't think a lot of people are willing to adapt to either or. In conclusion, if you want to use this inflating market as an opportunity, exactly what I'm going to be doing with my business instead of a crutch. In my mind, it is simple. Be practical, be able to adapt, and provide value. Because in my opinion, those three things combined will make you do more business than you ever have. And I am going to use this YouTube channel in my business to prove it. There you go, everybody. Those are my thoughts on inflation and what it means for us as resellers. I'm actually going to treat it as an opportunity, not as a crutch. Unfortunately, to anybody who is treating it like a crutch, I think they're going to give up a lot of market share. So provide value and swoop up that market share while you can. So there you go, everybody. This inflation deal, it's, you know, it is what it is, but I'm going to attack it head on, and I'm not slowing down anytime soon. So stay updated with my channel. I'm going to help you guys out along the way. It should be a ton of fun, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and hopefully I got you a little motivated as well. Don't put your head down. Keep your head up. Everything will be okay. Thank you for your time, everybody. I truly appreciate it. And until next time, be good to one another, and I'll see you then. Peace.